Like, it does seem like a really baffling choice because they have to know.
It's already hard enough to avoid spoilers as it is, and I feel like this is a film that has been so highly talked about worldwide. This broke records for trailer release on YouTube. This should be a movie that's celebrated globally on the same day, and also so these guys don't have to have the movie spoiled for them. What's happening, Reject Nation? Greg and John here today. So we got some real Spider-Man No Way Home news to talk about. First things first, there might have been an official poster that has actually been spotted. Gotta talk about that because fans have been wanting an official poster for quite some time. Am I right, John?
Absolutely
I'm
right.
so right. I'm always right. Secondly, Spider-Man No Way Home has been delayed in Japan and in the Philippines, and this is a really big deal. I'm taking it kind of personally, even though I'm gonna get access to it here in the States. I'm quite passionate about that story. So we'll talk about the poster, then we'll talk about this petition of Don't Delay No Way Home, PH. That means Philippines, Pinoy Pride. So here we go. So we got this poster here. I already saw this poster.
Oh.
Did you see it?
Only in small thumbnail form, and then I was like, I gotta save my full reaction, but this is sure a poster.
So yeah, I saw this poster, and basically the long story short is that in Australia, someone spotted this on a bus. And as we all know, there were some theaters that had fan-made posters up in their halls, making it look like those were the real posters, but they've been desperate to promote the movie. So because they didn't have an official poster, they've just been using fan-made. So the question's been coming up is this fan-made? I'm having a hard time believing it's fan-made, only because to print it out on a bus like that, it's not the same thing as printing it out and swap it out with this one thing in your hall of movie posters everywhere. To print it out on a bus, more work for installation on there than just swapping it out in a frame, you know?
Yeah, and not to mention it's going to be traveling all over town, and if somebody from, Sony happened to see that, it's a lot more likely that they would be up in arms than, one random theater having a fan-made poster.
Yeah, see, John, you get it. That's where you're the guy.
That's right. Marketing.
Now, this poster, though, what I find fascinating about this, if it is indeed legit, which I'm likely to believe it is real, is that for so long we've been wanting an official poster. We got a trailer before we got a poster. A lot of us were speculating that the reason they probably delayed the poster is because they're waiting for the second trailer to come out. That way we could have a poster that's probably more telling, more revealing, has some major things on it. They had to hold off on showing until they had a second trailer out. But then you see this poster, and if it is real, it's cool. But there's nothing really super special about it.
It's a shot we're all familiar with.
It's the Iron Spider moment from the trailer.
Yeah.
You got the Doc Ock arms. Like, if this was the first image we ever got, that would be like insane.
Yeah,
but
absolutely.
after everything we got, you're kind of just like, why'd they delay this for so long? If this is indeed it, and maybe when we get a second trailer, we'll still get a new poster, one that is more revealing, maybe one that has like the Sinister Six laid out on it. If they do show Tobey and Andrew in the trailer or tease them, maybe we get like them in the shadows and their spider suits back there or something like that. For a first poster, yeah, it gets the job done. You got the upside down city talking about the Doctor Strange world, but at the same time, I'm like, why didn't you just release this earlier?
Yeah, I know. It's a hodgepodge of literal images we saw in the trailer, so it seems like it would have been perfect to accompany that first trailer. Unless they're gonna trick us and throw out a bunch of other things later that have hidden details, but this looks pretty straightforward.
It looks straightforward. It's better than the Far From Home posters.
Sure. I'll give you that.
What do you guys think? Do you think it's real? And if it is real, do you guys like it? Are you thoroughly satisfied? Leave your thoughts down below. Now, on to this next story. Yesterday, I examined all these messages because, as you guys know, I'm full white. John, 100% Filipino.
Totally Pinoy pride over here.
And because of his Filipino roots, people were messaging me being like, Greg, you gotta get this message to John.
Stand up for John. He needs to see Spider-Man the same day as everyone else.
Yes, my Pinoy pride started kicking in when I was like, what do you mean this is getting delayed in the Philippines? And then Akasan was like bitching about it being delayed in Japan. I'm like, yeah, whatever. But the Philippines?
Suck it up, Akasan. But the Philippines. I'm so sorry for your loss, guys.
No, it sucks. I think everywhere this movie should be released on the same day. Now, I was looking into it and I decided just to put out a tweet to ask some people, like, what's going on here? Why is it delayed in the Philippines? Obviously, you could chalk it up to like COVID protocols. Some theaters around the world, some people are not getting Venom until like now or December. Some theaters are only just starting to reopen, and some want a big launch in 2022 at the beginning of the year. That I do get. Of course I do. I know it's like business, marketing, strategy. You gotta play with different markets, yada, yada, yada. But this is Spider-Man No Way Home. This isn't... any other movie.
Short of Endgame, yeah.
So when I asked like what's going on, some were saying that like yes, that the theaters are not really going to start opening it up until like January 2022. The most common consensus that I was seeing in terms of feedback that people were giving me on Twitter, I'm going to quote here Arthur Fleck, no voice in Desky 1. Every December there's a film festival in the Philippines that runs like 2 to 3 weeks long. That's why Hollywood blockbusters often move to next year or not shown at all. I'm still pissed I wasn't able to watch Aquaman in theaters back in 2018 and was also in December. And looking further into this, yeah, that's true. There is some big film festival that goes on for 2 to 3 weeks, so oftentimes they'll push things to January. Some are saying that they want to have like a big launch for new releases in January specifically. And I was like, well, how January to a couple weeks later makes a major difference for a film like Spider-Man No Way Home, but it doesn't really make much of a big difference for I think the theaters, you know, like of course I'm not one who's gonna go against safety protocols and health guidelines. I'm just having a hard time imagining what would be a major difference between January 7th and December 17th that you had to like wait that specific time frame and you're making this decision in November.
Yeah, absolutely, especially if you're going to have theaters, which is reported at least some of the theaters in the Philippines would be opening, I think November 10th with Dune, so it seems as though they would have the opportunity. And if you're gonna be open at all, it seems like you would be leaving money on the table not to put No Way Home out as soon as humanly possible, you know?
And the reason why I'm thinking this movie out of any of them should be released same day is because it's Spider-Man No Way Home. Obviously, this is a movie that has had many leaks that are so vastly conflicting. It's gonna have major spoilers. Look how secretive the marketing is. We just spent the first 3 minutes of this video talking about how they haven't released a poster yet. This movie has insane secrecy to it, and that's why people are like trying to scoop and trying to figure stuff out. The bottom line is that the people in Japan and Philippines, they're not gonna be able to avoid spoilers successfully.
No one in the world will be.
It's like, yeah, just stay off the internet for like 3 weeks. You know, that's a lot to ask for people.
Don't watch TV, don't talk to your friends, don't go outside, don't go to the movies, you know, like don't go anywhere. Yeah.
Like let's say they want to keep the Andrew and Tobey thing secret, and then the movie comes out and they start putting it in trailers, like with Avengers Endgame. It wasn't too long after Endgame came out that they started showing the finale battle and Avengers Assemble in the actual marketing promos. That was the marketing directly. It's already hard enough to avoid spoilers as it is, and I feel like this is a film that has been so highly talked about worldwide. This broke records for trailer release on YouTube. This should be a movie that's celebrated globally on the same day. And also so these guys don't have to have the movie spoiled for them. I know we sometimes talk about leaks. I know we sometimes talk about scoops. I also respect if you have zero interest in learning about any of that. I totally admire not wanting anything to be spoiled for you. There's gonna be a lot of people who get shit spoiled for them without
100%.
them even trying.
Yeah, absolutely. Just out in public, I'm sure it's going to be the topic of conversation because you know that even the people there who can't see it are probably going to have access to the info, and some folks love to spoil things or love to just get the details and talk right away. Like, it does seem like a really baffling choice because they have to know. Marvel and everybody else seems to care a lot about the secrecy and not spoiling things, and spoilers are more rampant than ever. It seems like a lot of this is about marketing and about money.
I know, you take it personally with your Filipino and Japanese roots.
I know.
So there's a petition here, the hashtag Don't Delay No Way Home PH, and there is a petition that's been put up on change.org that has been getting a lot of signatures lately. I'm gonna put it in the description box and I'm gonna link it in the pinned comment. If you just want to show your support, all I require is a simple signature. It literally took me like 15 seconds last night to sign this petition. I'd encourage you to do it too, because if you're a Spider-Man fan, I feel like a big part of what would Spider-Man want? Think about it like that. What would Spider-Man want? He'd want all of them to forget who he is, apparently. Guys, leave your thoughts down below. Subscribe, click that bell. Columbia Pictures, Sony, I'm asking you kindly on behalf of all fans, not just the people in the Philippines and in Japan. I know that it doesn't feel like a likely scenario, but it would be a baller, respectable, awesome move if you could just make an exception around this, or delay it in the US
till the 7th and see how that goes.
Make an exception here. I know you guys have the protocol that you usually abide by around this time of the year, but let's try to make an exception for these guys. The video's over now.